Hello, I'm Wendy Sibley. Tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Web 2.0, but mostly about the Disney Marathon, because everything I know about Web 2.0 I learned from the Disney Marathon. If you're going to talk about a topic as broad as Web 2.0 in 5 minutes, the first thing you're going to need to do is pick a direction. And as a child of the 60s, picking a direction was really easy for me. I could talk to you about Ajax or the web as platform, but I'd much rather talk to you about people. Because to my way of thinking, being able to make a connection with people is the real value of Web 2.0. There's a phrase from the 60s, power to the people. Anybody here remember the 60s? That's a trick question, because if you actually lived the 60s, I know you don't remember them. But that phrase corresponds nicely with a phrase that O'Reilly uses, the architecture of participation. That is, that the web is no longer a place where a person broadcasts to everyone else, but instead it's a place where all users come together to exchange ideas, to collaborate, to capture a sort of a collective intelligence or wisdom of the crowd. Okay, that ends the lecture portion. Now let's get down to the case study. In 1998, I decided I wanted to walk the Disney Marathon. Now, that's a big dream, because the Disney Marathon is no walk in the park. In fact, it's a walk through 4 parks in the hot Florida sun without stopping. Well, except for these really cool race photos. And since I'm from Harnett County, where we only run if we're being chased, I knew I was going to have to go elsewhere for my marathon training wisdom. I went online, and there are a lot of online groups that focus on preparing for the Disney Marathon. The two with which I've made the strongest connection are the Disney Dads and the Wish Team, and they're the ones I want to introduce you to tonight. The Disney Dads are a subgroup of a much larger group called the Dead Runners Society. The Dead Runners Society took their name from a movie called The Dead Poets Society. The idea is these are runners who love to write about it. As a writer, I could relate to that. Their slogan is Carpe Diem, or Seize the Road, and some of these guys are really fast. I can't really relate to that. Wish is also a subgroup of a much larger group. Wish is part of the Disboards, which is a giant Disney fan site. Wish stands for We're Inspired to Stay Healthy. They began as a forum, but now they've got Web 2.0 enhancements like blogs and podcasts. While some of these people are really fast, some of them are a little more Winnie the Pooh shaped, and I could really relate to that. O'Reilly said about open source software groups that establishing online communities is important, but if you really want to kick it up another notch, you got to meet face to face. And certainly I've seen that illustrated with these groups that I'm a part of. These people who were once my online advisors now became my marathon scream team. They lined all 26.2 miles of the marathon course, offering me Twizzlers and Diet Coke. But the really groovy thing, to continue with my 60s theme, is that they didn't just help other members of our online communities. They actually helped every runner on the marathon course. The running community at large benefited from the connection we'd made online. These online teammates of mine have supported me through 30 marathons, 2 triathlons, and 1 ultramarathon. And when I told them I'd really like to speak at Ignite Raleigh, they all logged on and voted for me. As you might imagine, these online friends have now become my real-life friends. We visited non-Disney parks together and run non-Disney races. And to bring this thing full circle, now members of my online running community have introduced me to members of local running communities that I'm active in. One of those local runners left me with an insight that I'd like to leave you with tonight. Kim survived stage 3 Hodgkin's disease, that's cancer. And through all the chemotherapy and all the radiation, she said that it was the most life-affirming experience she'd ever had. Why? Because that experience made her realize this life we're living today is no dress rehearsal. It's not putting in time until some later time when you'll actually start living your dreams. This is your life. And whatever your dream is, you need to make the online connections to start making those dreams happen. I'm living proof that there are a world of people out there to support you. So make those connections, enrich your life, live your dreams, power to the people, right on. Thank you very much. Have a great night.